Depending on the show you host or the format of a radio station, it is important that you prepare for your interviews with your celebrity guest or any guest as though you would prepare for a normal radio show. Some would argue that a celebrity interview or any interview is an appendage of the show that you can do without. Others would say it is a critical element of a radio or a TV program. I believe, whatever the case might be, you need to be on top of the situation so you never sound unprepared. Hello once again and welcome to my channel. I am Augustusaigbe, that is spelled Augustusaigbé. For those who are on other social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the likes, follow me at Gradiorockstar, okay? So today we're going to be talking about how to prepare for a celebrity interview. And here is your guide. Well, the first thing I do is I go on their social media. It could be on Instagram, it could be on Twitter, whatever the case might be, as long as they are always on there. I just go there and source for information.
You put out a tweet, I think it was yesterday or a couple of days ago, about stats showing the variation with regards how much they consume your music, men versus women. And I think it was more the men than women.
Yeah. You never know the amount of gems with regards interview gems that you could find that would absolutely give you color to your interview. Don't sleep on the artist or the guest or the celebrity guest social media platforms. Don't sleep on it. Tip number 2 on this guide on how to prepare for a celebrity interview. Now, over time, you may become familiar with your recurring celebrity guests. You may know them on a personal level. But for those who are first-time guests or celebrity guests, I think it's imperative you try to make them as comfortable as possible. Make them as relaxed as possible. That way, you get them to loosen up and spill the tea.
I keep looking at Thames. She reminds me of someone when I was living at Abike Suleiman in Lekki Phase 1. She was going to Dowen College and she comes out of my house, like front of my house, because you won't see me, like, you know, those days.
Tea that you actually need when you're having a celebrity interview, okay? Tip number 3 on this guide as you prepare for your celebrity interview. Make sure you prepare for the hard questions. There are a lot of presenters who will shy away from the hard questions or, in quotes, controversial questions.
A holiday record, I need to ask. The homeboy laptop story, what's that about? Tell us.
Yeah.
I really don't want to glorify stealing, but
Yeah,
it was just very unfortunate, you know?
that happened as at that time.
Yeah.
I think you should run to those questions, but be very reasonable and polite with your delivery. In case this is your first time tuning in, let me just remind you to subscribe to this channel, Augustusaigbe, Augustusaigbe. Please subscribe and share with your friends and family, and share with those who you think and know want to learn about radio or are interested in doing radio, okay? Tip number 4. I think it's also very important that you shy away from the cliche questions or run away from the cliche questions. There are a ton of people who tend to ask the same basic questions to celebrities that get them tired on a regular basis. Be original, be different, think outside of the box. Ask questions that are so unexpected and very, very interesting. So, for example, ask a question like,
You're pretty young, but there's so much maturity in your music. And I feel the need to ask, you know, was this down to the fact that you grew up with your grandma?
Yeah, I grew up with my grandma. How did you do that?
last but not the least, consider your audience. Remember your audience. As much as you would want to ask questions that you would love to learn on a personal level, remember that there are certain questions your listener would love asked on the radio. So no matter how trivial they sound, no matter how basic they sound, sometimes it is imperative that you ask those questions, because that is what your listener, that is what your audience, that is what the fans of your radio show want to get to hear. So never forget them. Now, in today's world where radio has drastically evolved, it's imperative that you always try to improve in your craft. So for those who work at radio stations where there's now virtual radio, it's important that after every interview that you have, you go back to relive the moment and you watch your interviews again, not just for entertainment, but to pick up on the places or the spots where you made mistakes so you can correct them. the place where you felt that you could have done a whole lot better, a part where you feel like you could have asked a more interesting question, just to improve your craft and be better as an interviewer, of a celebrity or of a guest during your radio program. I think this is very, very key. You must always make sure to go and relive those moments to improve yourself as a radio presenter, as a journalist, and as an interviewer. Very, very key. Now, there are also those who want to learn from you, and their only source of learning is from watching you on a platform like this, YouTube. So it's imperative that every time you are on that platform, every time clips of you having those interviews are shared on those platforms, it is important that it is your best that you're giving, because all a newbie on radio would have to learn radio will be through your clip. All right. Once again, I say subscribe to my channel. Make sure to follow on socials. I am at Gradiorockstar on every platform. But more importantly, subscribe to this channel, Augustusaigbe, Augustusaigbe. I'll be back next time for another video on this channel. Cheers.